Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Witchy Wednesday. Today we are talking about myrrh. I wanted to keep this series for the herbs and for the crystals on the more accessible side, but I really wanted to talk about frankincense and myrrh because these are such staples in the witchy community and in many religious practices as well. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and go through our little particulars here. Thank you to the patrons on Patreon. We have Sophia from Sophia Brings Light. We have Tyler, and we have Linda. Right? I'm pretty sure that's all the patrons, without looking on my phone and whatnot. Thank you to the patrons on Patreon. If you would like to become a patron, you can go into the description box down below and click that link. That will take you to the Patreon page. For as little as $5 a month, you will be helping out us starting up this church, this Christo-Pagan church that we're starting here on YouTube. If you cannot give the $5 a month, no problem. If you would like to get something for your money, then and you would like to still spend money, you can support me as an individual creator by going to my eBay page. Also, the link is down below. Negotiate with me, send me an offer. I'll probably agree or send you back a counter offer. Depends on what the offer is. If you cannot spend money, period, but you would still like to support this channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done that. Hit that bell notification if you've already subscribed. That will let you know whenever new videos come out, all that good stuff. Leave a comment and share with your social media peeps because, well, that helps out people being able to find the channel and whatnot. It all appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into myrrh, because myrrh is the Commiphora myrrha tree, and much like frankincense, it secretes these little tiny tears. And I don't know how well that's actually going to show up here. Hold on. Let me do that. Maybe. Is it doing its thing? No? Okay. Y'all have seen myrrh before. I keep mine in a little sealed jar like this, and they're all properly labeled. But as you can see here, little tiny chunks. Much like frankincense, whenever you cut a part of the tree, like whenever you wound the tree, it actually secretes this sap and then hardens into little tiny tears. Now, frankincense is becoming endangered. It's going on the endangered list, if it is not already on the list. Hopefully it doesn't make the list, but I think it is. And so for me, I'm going to step back from using frankincense as much as possible, using it either sparingly or not at all in my practice. I have a stockpile of it, so I'm going to go through that and use that as I need, and then step back from using it to give these trees a chance to thrive, because it is becoming more and more endangered. Now, myrrh, the Indian version of myrrh, there is an Indian type of tree, or a type of tree that grows in India, that is becoming more and more endangered, and they're taking steps to address that. But it also grows in Somalia, Oman, Yemen, Ethiopia, and Saudi Arabia. It has been used in practices way back, into history and whatnot, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, I want to go through the medical things. Big disclaimer here, I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional of any sort, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Consult your medical professionals in your life, and make sure that it is safe for you to use. Again, not a medical professional. I'm just stating what I've researched and what I found through my research on this. So, here goes. It has been used as an antiseptic, mouthwashes, toothpastes, Healing salves for bruises, aches, and sprains. It's been claimed to remedy indigestion, ulcers, colds, asthma, uh, and lung congestion, pain, arthritis pain, and cancer. So all of those things, big umbrella of things that it's been used for medically, and it has also been used in various Chinese medicines, Asian types of medicines, East Asian medicines. So yes, it's been used for a long time. Um, Again, not a medical professional, can't stress that enough. Uh, you take your risk at your own risk and peril. Um, Consult a medical physician for any use whenever you're using this stuff, and don't rely solely on an herb, or in this case a resin, because this is a resin, not an herb technically, even though it'll be in people's herbal dictionaries and whatnot. Anyway, don't rely solely on that. Seek medical professionals with any type of oil or herb that we discuss. Anyway, getting into some of the history of it, it was used in ancient Egypt for embalming mummies alongside frankincense. It was burned in Hebrew temples, and it was used to create anointing oils for purification. The holy anointing oil that Benabel Wen did a fantastic video on. She did an amazing job on that video. I can't stress that enough. If you go into the book of Exodus, I believe it is, there is actually a recipe for a holy anointing oil that the priests still use, I believe to this day, for purification rites and whatnot. So, myrrh was one of those herbs or those resins used in that oil. It was one of the gifts from the three magi, or the supposed three magi, at the birth of Christ. We talked about the magi last year, early January last year. I think it was one of the first videos of that year of content that I was putting out. So it was one of the three supposed gifts given to Christ upon his birth, and was offered with wine at his crucifixion, as stated by the accounts in the Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Matthew, I think it says that he was offered vinegar and wine, I think. I'm not certain on that, but in the account of Mark, it was that he was given myrrh and wine. Maybe it was just vinegar in Matthew. Anyway, mythologies and different accounts and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to move on from that. In modern Christianity, it is used in the church for holy oil, for the holy chrism. And this is one of the sacraments for the church, for the Catholic Church at least, and it is used in that oil. So a lot of uses in various practices throughout history, and it has such a great scent. Again, there's a look at it, and some of this has already been made into a powder form, and that's how I usually use it for incense and whatnot whenever I use it. Okay, so the point that we're all here for is actually the magical uses, because that's what we primarily use it for as practitioners of magic, is purification. It has been used as a purification type of incense throughout history, and even I want to even state that it has been used in Islam as well. So you have the big three Abrahamic religions right there that it has been used in. And purification is one of those forms. It is also great to be used in protection. You can use it to break hexes and curses. You can use it for offerings to deities, especially goddess deities. So there are a list of deities that is one of their preferred offerings, mainly from what I've seen in Egypt and whatnot. So, like Isis and whatnot. So, if you have a goddess in your practice, this might be something that you want to consult with her, whether or not she would like to have myrrh burned on the altar. You can also mix it in its oil form, mix it in a diffuser or in a humidifier to help whenever you're sick. It helps, helps with that lung congestion and whatnot. Now, also, I'm going to stipulate, consult a doctor before doing this. I have put oils in my diffusers and everything, and I have not had any issues because you're only using a small amount of it. But take your own precautions and whatnot to make sure that this is something that is good for you to do so. You can also make it into little sachets and whatnot. Say if you wanted to use it for protection, mix that in a little sachet. I have my little ones right here. Now this is a pink one, but you know, any color. I would probably use something like something associating with protection. I would probably use maybe either a white or a black one. These little organza bags are great for this. So you can put a couple sticks of cinnamon in here, which is great for protection, and then you can put your myrrh in there as well, and that will help with the protection. If you are doing a protection on your home with oil, mix a little bit into your oil. I have my this is my money oil right here, but you can take a little bit of that and spread it on your doorposts for the entrances to your home, the windows to your home and whatnot, any entrance that any negativity can come through. So you can use that as a way of protection. Let me turn off the light there. Okay. If you wanted to use it for purification, great way to use this is to put it on a little charcoal disc and just burn it. You can mix it with frankincense, and you can mix it with any other type of purifying types of herbs or resins. One that would be very interesting to try that I have not tried would be white sage. If you have or any type of sage. White sage is becoming more and more endangered because of its popularity. So if you have regular sage, put a little bit of that, mix that with the myrrh, and then sprinkle it onto a charcoal disc. I would be interested in the fragrance that would give off, the lightness of the sage and the heaviness, the earthiness, the musk of myrrh would be very interesting to see how that develops. One thing to note whenever burning this on a charcoal disc, because it is a resin, sometimes it'll just like bubble and it'll like encase the charcoal disc if it, if it's not fully red of a disc, if the disc is not fully activated. If you have just like the edges activated and you put it on there prematurely, it will like bubble and then it'll just like harden right there. It's kind of weird, kind of gross. So whenever you're doing any charcoal disc with any resin, make sure that the charcoal disc is nice and hot, that it doesn't choke out the disc. You can also choke out the disc if you add too much. So use it sparingly whenever you have it as an incense. As an oil, I would say it probably gets a little stickiness. I know that whenever frankincense is in oil form, it's a little sticky. Myrrh, not as bad as frankincense. Even whenever putting it in a mortar and pestle, frankincense gets really sticky. Now, I don't think with myrrh I've had a real issue with it. I'm trying to do it right here, but no, it breaks apart pretty easily, even with my fingers, and it smells so good. Whenever you're storing it, I would store it in something that is a little bit airtight. Like I said, I have these little things. I have about 3 dozen of them that I've picked up at Walmart for super cheap. And yeah, I've went and got those and then just put a little label on it. And that keeps it pretty well, pretty well preserved for quite a long time. Now, it does lose its scent after a while, but once you start crushing it up and you start burning it, it gets its scent back. Like, this has a real, like, faint scent to it right now, but if I were breaking it up and putting it on a charcoal disc, it would probably gain its scent back very quickly. It's just the outer layer that the scent does not stay on, because it is a resin, because it is a sap that is hardened. A lot of that smell stays contained. But anyway, that's all that I have for this week's Witchy Wednesday. Not a long video, not a lot that I had to say on Myrrh. It is a well-loved resin in this household. Another one that I love so much is Dragon's Blood, and I have my own reasons for that, and I should probably do a video on that. But yeah, I think next month we're going to be doing, do I have another Witchy Wednesday this month? I don't think I do. No, I don't. The next Witchy Wednesday should be on March 9th. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go back to crystals for that one. So in the comments below, tell me what crystal you would like to have featured for the March 9th video. We're just moving right along this month, or this year, through the weeks here. So, you know, it's going by quite quickly. I can't believe it's already going into the last week of February. But in the comments down below, tell me what crystal you would like to have featured for the next Witchy Wednesday. Because I'm not sure which one I want to do. Maybe a blue lace agate. That's one that's really well, or has a lot of qualities that are able to be used very well. Or maybe a rose quartz, or maybe quartz itself. I don't know. There's a lot to say on quartz. It would be a long video. Anyway, tell me what crystal you would like to have featured in the next Witchy Wednesday down in the comments down below. And join me for our Witchy Book Club series on Saturday. And until then, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.